on stage?
Well, I think we're supposed to be at about 9 o'clock in Belfast, but if I get there at 9:30, then that's when the concert will start, I guess. Yeah.
It seems quite representative of your lifestyle just now, sort of jetting about and from country to another. Is it terribly glamorous or awfully seedy?
I don't believe I'm in going on holiday all the time. I think while you're busy and getting some sort of satisfaction out of this whole thing, you should carry on working, and make the most of it.
The Thompson twins have been around for about 5 years now. You've been gradually building up. I know it makes it sound ancient. You've been gradually building up to where you are now. Have you ever at any time thought, or do you fear in the future, you'll ever stop and think, well, enough of what people say, it's time to actually start making some money and, doesn't matter what people think?
Well, I think you should always make money in the sense that it's pointless to be wasteful and just throw money away, but on the other hand, money is not anywhere near the most important thing, the reason for doing this, And I think if you didn't have some other satisfactions, this sounds very profound for pop music, but if there wasn't something which motivated you on a day-to-day basis, money just wouldn't be enough,
What motivates you then? What keeps you going?
I don't know, I'm still trying to find that out, But I do wake up in the morning and want to get on with it, so there must be something.
Do you think that bands, I certainly have often wondered about this, bands like yourself who've matured, if you like fine cheeses in a small provincial town, and then gone on to travel the world, do you think that's...
the worst statement I've ever heard.
Do you think that takes away from what you sort of started out saying in the first place?
It probably does in a way, but I think it's very healthy to change, I'm really pleased that I'm not doing the same thing that I was 5 years ago. And I hope that I'm not doing the same thing in 5 years I am now, so I don't see that as anything but healthy.
Do you have any fears? A lot of people in this business have fears, like, for instance, growing old. Are you scared of growing old?
I'm already pretty young. No, I think it's very good to age gracefully in this business and not pretend that you're young forever, It can't be true, so why pretend it?
So how long do you think then you'll carry on with the Thompson twins in the form that they're in just now?
I'm not going to work after my 72nd birthday.
Is that a couple of years, is it?
Yeah, there's a couple more albums in the end, maybe.
What would you like to do in the future? Because obviously, it's not being cheeky, it's just a fact of life. You obviously can't go on forever.
Yeah, pop groups don't last forever. Again, it's silly to pretend they do. So I think the really smart thing is if you've got all these opportunities suddenly to work in the pop field, and you're also acquiring other skills, like you're getting involved in video and production or whatever, then to make sure that whatever satisfies you leaves you a door open at the end of it all, And I keep turning down production offers, and sooner or later I'll have to accept one.
Is it what you always wanted to do? Are you very happy in the fact that you're here now and doing what you're doing and doing it well in your own eyes, or is there anything that you feel frustrated about?
It's partly a question of not thinking you can do anything else, really. The choice is fairly narrow. In fact, music's the only thing that's ever really satisfied me in the long term. So I want to carry on doing it. Yeah.
Do you have any regrets so far in your life that you've missed out on something as perhaps another avenue you should have gone along?
It's impossible to do everything in life, What someone else is doing, you can't do, so...
Briefly, talking about the heroin campaign that Dr. Dream obviously was a part of, do you feel very responsible in that way? Because I read in a couple of interviews where you were actually talking about having taken drugs yourself and how you stopped taking them. Do you feel that would perhaps in itself is rather dangerous to kids to say, well, Tom Bailey took them and he's bright-eyed and rosy-cheeked, he's okay. Is that in itself dangerous?
I agree in some senses it could be, yeah. But I've always gone into the detail of saying, what I was into and why I got into it and why I got out of it. And I make a point of mentioning all these things just so that people don't think that I'm taking any naive standpoint of, all drugs are terrible, we must never do anything. Because that's a meaningless gesture. We've all heard that so many times before, it doesn't mean a thing, And actually Dr. Dream was specifically talking about a very new heroin problem amongst very young people, So it wasn't just an anti-drug statement, which I would never make, to be honest.
Right, well, that was the last single. The new single is Kings for a Day, which looks like a tribute to Julie Andrews shot in a church, I believe. There's nothing else to say about that. Shot in a church. Well, this is it. New Thompson's,
Okay.
King for a Day.